This is the Zac Anesbury Show.
Welcome. This podcast clip comes from an interview with Ryan Buckle from Top Shelf International. Yeah, I think you make a really good point about a large chunk of it is who you work with because, you know, I work at the Ehrenberg Bass Institute, obviously, and I work with some phenomenal people. Like I get to speak to Byron, especially now because he's not traveling as much. I get to speak to him quite often. And, you know, across the hall from me is Professor John Dawes, and I get to pick his brain. I can just knock on his door and pick his brain. But it's also that same thing. Like if I'm choosing some of the younger people to work with me on research projects, you know, obviously you want them to be highly intelligent and motivated and stuff like that. But part of it is, well, do I actually want to work with this person? And will they make the job funner? And if two people have very similar characteristics in terms of how they are, then it's who's also going to motivate me and how can I motivate them type of thing. Does that make sense?
Definitely does.
Yeah.
You want to choose, like, it's not, you don't want to get into a groupthink situation, but you want to find that spark. It's either in the team dynamic itself, with the leader, with the organisation, because I find if you're going through the motions a bit, it's challenging to really find the best version of yourself. And it's not necessarily to be the best human being you can be. I mean, that's part of it too. But I think if you're in an environment where you're on the razor's edge a little bit, you're close to the edge of your comfort zone, or you're just outside of your comfort zone, you'll find things out about yourself and find ideas within yourself that weren't necessarily evident before. So, yeah, I really buy into that. I think a lot of people get sucked in, and this is what I mean by the bright lights, you know, the title, the salary, the company prestige, but look closer and go, who are the people I'm going to be working with? You know, do your homework there, you know, talk to people in R&D, talk to people in sales, like find out, are they the sort of people that you can see yourself learning and developing from, but also creating a bit of magic together. So they're probably lessons that an older version of me would have appreciated in the earlier, or appreciates now, but the younger version would have appreciated more back in the day. But it's a lot of time at work, Zac, as you well know.
Yeah, a lot.
You want to make sure that the people you're doing it with are, you know, on the same path.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I extend that sort of stuff actually into like my personal life. Whenever I've bought properties, I've spent quite a lot of time where the address is, and I've knocked on the doors of all of my neighbors and said, like, what is it actually like living here? What's the noise levels like? I had a property that was near the Adelaide airport, and so I asked my neighbors, do the flights keep you awake at night, or do you notice them that often? And yeah, they said you'll get used to it within a few weeks. And or, you know, there's a noisy kid across the road and the parents don't discipline them enough. But I think it's worthwhile investing in the same level of input for your job. Like I sat down with maybe about 6 people before I started working here, just informal coffees, and said, what's it actually like working here?
Well, you will be living there. So you might as well do your work.
Exactly. And no one had any bad things to say. I mean, this place is highly competitive internally, but that's a good thing for someone like me because it pushes me and it motivates me. So, you know, if they said something like that, all the better. But that might scare off some other people.
Yeah, I think that there's an equal bit of like, you want to work with people that have similar career ambitions to you or have similar drive, but you've also got to work out the sort of people you want to work with that are going to complement your style as well. Because I'm a big fan of, this is not necessarily, it's sort of a similar conversation for today, but a growth mindset, not only for the work that you're doing, but for the people that you're with. So, you know, if you've got someone that's going to challenge you to go, oh, is that the best version of you in that meeting just then? Or have you thought about, you know, did you really hear what that person was saying, you know, in a constructive way? Or on the other side of it, it's like, you know, getting the right kind of feedback when you need it as well. Like, I loved it when you'd said this, or when you behave like that. So I think you get a nice little picture then of, you know, when I was talking before about the self-development, but you get you know, the career sort of builds, and so does your own style and, you know, what's important, leadership impact.
Hey guys, it's Zac Anesbury here with just a couple of quick reminders. If you've enjoyed today's podcast, then make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. There are plenty more interviews to come with some of the world's leading marketing academics and practitioners. You do not want to miss these. In the meantime, if you're looking for another way to connect, then follow me on Twitter at Zac Anesbury. That is ZAC Anesbury, for my take on the marketing issues of the day.